All right, good day, guys. Welcome again to my channel. And today I want to show to you how to carry out pie cap analysis and design. All right, so this is a project that I've been completely modeled, and what is left is to put in our foundation. And in this case, because of this tutorial, we're going to be using a pile foundation. Okay, before we can go ahead to do anything on pile foundation or foundation at all, we have to activate our foundation story, which is story 0. So locate your story 0 on the plan, and this is exactly what you have. Before you can go ahead, probably you just want to visualize your column loads to know exactly what amount of load comes on your column, or whatever column you have. You may want to use the visual interrogation. Okay, so just get down to review. If you're using PROTA STRUCTURE 2021, get down to your review. You see visual interrogation, and then you'll be able to go to column display. When you get to column display, you see loadings. Clicking on this drop down, you see a lot of load combinations there. Just activate the dead load G, as you can see, activate the life load, as you can see, and maybe you activate dead plus life, which is factored, or whichever one that you desire to activate. You can just do that and click OK. So once you do that, your loads automatically appear here, and that's exactly what you're seeing: my dead load and then the life load. Okay, after that you can go ahead. We would now need to go to check our foundation design settings, or maybe materials first, to be sure that we're having the right materials for the foundation. Okay, so let's get to the bidding, set out and see and check materials. Okay, so when you're now here, what we are supposed to do is to check for the foundation floor, because we are dealing with the foundation basically now. All right, so we want to check the foundation, the concrete grade for the foundation. If you're using C25, C20, just select which is appropriate for your design project. All right, and then you can use OK. Okay, for the reinforcement for the foundations, you click rebar diameters, and then you can begin to select which is applicable to your project. Okay, so you want to select rightly at this point. Okay, so Y16, Y20, Y25 is what we want to select. Okay, so when you're done, you click OK. So, and the links, I'll just want to use Y10, and that's all. Now when you're done with this, you just want to go to foundation design. Just click OK. All right, and then let's get to foundation design. So where do you find the foundation design settings? You get to the settings center. So clicking on your settings center, you'd be able to access the various settings, but our concern here is for foundation. So okay, before we begin our major designs, we just want to be sure that all those things have been properly entered. Okay, so the soil unit weight, you do not need to really touch this. The allowable soil stress, ultimate strength factor, all of these things are general, majorly for pad footings, you see, so you may not need to do much work here. Okay, so but once you go ahead to pie caps, you can begin to do one or two things on this. Shaft type, if yours is circular or square, you do well to put which is right. Okay, and the pie size. So if my pie diameter is probably 450 or 400, you want to put it there as applicable to you. Now your ultimate compression capacity, as given by your report, your soil investigation report, do well to put that information there. This default pie length doesn't affect critically your design. All right, it's just for 3D modeling on your product structure. Okay, I'll show you where the length actually makes implication. But however, your design length of pie, the one that you're working with, actually putting it here is not a crime. just go ahead and put it here. So whether it affects it or it doesn't affect it, just get your values inside this place. All right, so the next thing we want to look at here now is the spacing multiplication factor between piles. Okay, so this is essential, all right, because of the bubbles, so that the pile spacing can be actually maintained. So you want to use a proper factor. 2.5 would be a very good one. Okay, so distance to face, pile cap depth. Okay, so here we say minimum pile cap depth 500, maximum 1.5. So I would rather stay at probably 900. I'm comfortable with this, and maximum that. Okay, so number of pile, minimum 1, which is of course 1, and maximum, maybe you want to use 4 as maximum, some want to use 3. No, just put it there, and that's it. So let's go to the pile itself. So going to the pile, you see where we have the pile lateral analysis settings. You don't need to really touch this. You don't really need, except you have a reason to do so, but you don't need to do that. Okay, but on this side, maximum spacing for longitudinal rebars, 200 mm, maximum spacing for longitudinal rebars, maximum spacing for links, minimum spacing for links, okay, and spacing steps. Okay, so if you have need to do this, which I don't really think you do, okay, so we can just exit this place. Now the next thing we want to do now is to start our process. So we want to use this as a typical example. Right clicking on this column, you can see that it has been selected. Now you can come right here. After you select it, right click, and then you can insert pile cap. Insert pile cap. So once you do that, the box opens. You see it's loading, and then it opens. So once it opens, you will be able to access different kind of things as touching your design. So you discover that I'm waiting, let it fully load so that I can take you along. Okay, great. So now what you're seeing at the top is a summary of your design process on that particular pile, okay, or that column sitting on the pile. Okay, so and below you see the details of the design: spanning theory, pile capacity check, bending design results, base reinforcement, shear reinforcement, and all of those things. So these are the design details. Okay, and then on the right hand you see the geometry of your pile. So this is geometry. Okay, so let's get into a little more details of our design work. So from the geometry, when you select the pile cap, you discover that we have the pile cap label, which is PC1C5. all right, the number of piles is 1, and mind you, you can edit this based on the maximum number of piles you saw in the design settings. Okay, so you can edit to whatever it is. So once 1 is okay, why not keep it at that? All right, once 1 is okay, keep it at that. The depth is 900, of which you can also edit. All right, and then you see pile shaft type, we already selected that in the foundation setting, and that's why you can see circular returning here. And the penetration, all of this you've seen in this second box here is being transferred from the foundation design setting. So if you want to really do anything about this, you would have done it in the foundation design settings. Okay, so the pile capacity also is being transferred from there. Okay, so the column type, rectangular, of course, that's exactly the one we're using. It's a 25 by 25 column, so it's a square, but here it has to see it as rectangular, you know, since there is no square. Rectangle is actually closer to square. Okay, so eccentricity from pile cap center, so that is that on pile cap. Now the pile's location, you can see that because of the eccentricity is actually 0. That's why we're having 0 all through. Okay, so for the pedestal, usually we don't need to select this. Is not commonly used for pile, so forget about pedestal. Is not commonly used. So for the materials now, we have selected this in the foundation in the materials under the foundation settings there. Okay, we see the concrete grade, concrete type, and all of that. The reinforcement 410, if you want to change it you can, but all of these things we've done earlier in the materials. All right, so these are just major. Now for the options, it shows to you the moment and the shear. Okay, so what method do you want to do we use in designing this? So you see that it's cantilever, cantilever method. Okay, for the shear design you may choose the check shear, which is necessary, or you may not choose it to that. I don't know why you don't want to do this, so I feel you should just keep it there. Check punching shear is necessary. Okay, so include effect of column dimensions on shear span. If you want to do that, you can do all of those things. Deep moment, yes. Design settings, prefer pile layout for more than 15 piles, double rows. Okay, so all of this you can decide to fit your work with all these options there. So minimum pile cap depth, we have this. Maximum pile came from this, actually came from where the foundation design settings. Okay, all right, so the column loads, this shows to us the column loads. All right, and you can see that we have the summation of the loads to be 212.7. okay, this the direct axial load, this Vx and Vy, the moment on X and moment on Y. Okay, so we have that here. Now you discover that it's an envelope method, envelope combination, all right, that is using loading combination. Okay, so for the axial load, now we have the total compared to the ultimate capacity. So it compares the total axial load to the capacity, ultimate capacity of the pile. All right, so and once you see that this thing is green, it means it passes. If it's red, it means it fails. Okay, so that's why we have exactly what we have. So you discover that the total load is less than the pile ultimate capacity, so which is okay, it's okay. So just my mouse on it, you see the last symbol there, it shows that it's okay. All right, so the next one, rebars. Now in the design, the result of design says we are applying Y20 reinforcement at 200 mm spacing. You can also edit this if you want. Okay, so by doing this you can edit what you have. Here. So once you edit it, it actually affects the overall designs. Okay, so but once you come here and you want to auto select reinforcement, once you do it auto select, you see that it changed what you have there. So it's either you edit yourself or you allow the software select the reinforcement for you. Okay, so and that's that on rebars. The design check, it's going to give you like an overall summary of all the designs that have gone into play. So you see the pile capacity check, the base design moment, the bending design results, design shear force, column base face, design shear force, shear capacity, and all of that. So it gives you a summary like that. So you have the report and detailing. So you can choose to create a report from here. Once you click this, all right, so you create a report from there. Now it will load, so because you requested for a report, and that's why it's loading. Now it's showing a report for this particular pile. All right, so you can get your report for this pile this way. Okay, so the next one is the result of the whole design. So to get our results, you may want to update your design, and then the result is here. Okay, so that's all about that. Once you're done, you can click OK, and whatever it is that you have done will be reflected here. Okay, so you see that now. So what if you want to design in batch? You want to have a batch design. All right, so we can select all these piles, all right, all together, by holding down your control key and highlighting the columns in those spaces. So once you are able to select everything together, once you right click and then you insert your pile cap, you discover that you have a very larger box compared to the one we just did. So because it presents to you all the columns that you have selected in that project. Okay, so from here there are some things we can begin to do. We can design, now it's loading, it's creating the whole columns and the whole pie cap rather that I've selected. Okay, so let's see. Now it has designed all for me. So let's assume that it didn't design it and you want to design all. So you can select all by designing all. You can use the design all function here on the left top corner. All right, it designs all. If I want to design only one of them, I select one, I click design selected, and then I can do it exactly as we have done the other time. Okay, so if I want to design all, I select this and it automatically designs everything for me. Now you see how it's rolling at the left bottom corner. All right, so it's designing everything for me. Okay, so you can do that. Another thing that we can do is this: when you discover that there are similar pile that has been designed, after your design there are piles that look similar in the sense that they have the same number of pile under them, the pile caps have the same number of piles under them, and maybe equivalent dimensions or sizes. So for example, looking at this column from here, and this has the same number and size the same up to this. So you can do what I'm doing by holding down your control button and then clicking the respective column that you so desire. So you can see that all of them have the same the same information. Okay, so having selected all these things, so I can group them into a single one, so that for your detailing you can just design, you can just have your results for one and then it applies to every other. So once I get here, I can just select group selected. So once I do group selected, it gives me all that I have in one click. So let's assume that I made an error and I want to reverse what I've just done. Okay, so I can easily or equally ungroup. So you can select your ungroup, and once you do that, it releases all that you have done formally to become normal. All right, so let's see what it's about to do. Okay, so you see that now that's what we have. Now that we have been able to show ourselves how to group and ungroup piles, all right, so we may want to just go ahead to get our reports for this. So let's assume that we have designed all these things, okay, and group them into one. Then I can select OK. Once I click OK, everything gets displayed as in the other case. So I have all my piles. If you check the 3D now, all my column has piles under them. Okay, and now let's get back. So what if I want to get my design report for these column piles, the piles that I have? Okay, so or if I want to check the pile details, for example, I want to check the pile reinforcement details. So once you go here, you select the columns, the pile rather. Okay, right click, you check the properties, and it takes us to that large table, that large tab. Okay, so once you get here, we can easily come and check the report. You see the pile cap design report. So clicking pile cap design report, it loads the report for you. All right, so this is how you can get your report for that. Then you can save by printing, or you can also save by converting to PDF or to Microsoft Office, either ways. Okay, so having done this, I was going to show to you how to check your details. So to check your details, you have to go to the drawings and reports. Once you get to the drawings and reports, Okay, it shows you what exactly do you need. So I need pi base and pi cap details. So once I click pi base and pi cap details, you'll discover that it begins to show me what I need to see. So I have the two type of pi caps. Okay, so this is exactly showing it, but you'll be able to interact with the designs this way, except that you import this or you access your PROTA details from here. So if you want to know how to access your PROTA details from here, you need to check my video on that, is down here. So you just pay attention, click that video, and you see how to export your drawing to PROTA details to be able to interact with all that you have seen. Now, if you're new to my channel, I am Joshua the designer. Please do well to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel so that you can continue to see amazing videos coming your way. Till the next time where we meet, bye.